Here we are at the focus again. A telltale sign, I showed you guys this before, to know when a PCM could be acting up or there might be an issue, no communication with the PCM. When you put the key to on, you look at the PCM light, it's not on. It should have been on already. It's going to come on as a fault, but it's not coming on as a self-check that it should, right? So that's a big clue that the PCM is most likely not communicating. And as you can see, we have an injured fault. I'm going to pull this PCM and put it on the bench. All right, guys, this is where the PCM is located on this car. It's right here under the driver, in front of the driver front wheel. So it's a couple of T30 screws to get the cover off, and then you can pull the cover off and pull the PCM out and disconnect it. That's the screw there. That's what they look like. And there you can see that's how it sits in there, boys. There it is. We're gonna see if we're gonna recover any data off of this, or if it's too far gone. All right, got the original one hooked up here on the bench, and it will not communicate. Went ahead and double checked my connections, and this is what we get. Identification, click here, and it just times out, guys. Okay, I played with the connection a little bit, and I was able to get it to communicate. And this one was funny because it was sometimes communicating on the car and sometimes it wasn't. And this is since they swapped the battery, the cables when they tried to jump it. We're gonna see if we can get a good read. I'm gonna do the read D flash now. Okay, I'm gonna call that original. And let's try to read the P flash now. I'll bring it back. All right, it's done. We're gonna call that one original, P flash, and save. Now I'm gonna go ahead and open it up in the hex editor and look at the data and see if it's not okay. The two files, I've got them open. Here they are side by side, well, next to each other. And the D flash, this one is actually not an original flash, so this is not very trustworthy, but it does have information. Actually, the one I have open is the original, rather. And if you notice, it's pretty much blank at the beginning of the flash. So if we go down, there's nothing all the way to line 8000. So that kind of leaves a question mark. The only problem is my other my donor has been played with somewhat, so I can't trust the data on there either. What I do know is this reads, you see it starts at 8000, everything else before that is blank. But the data does actually look somewhat valid, because if you look here, in fact the VIN number is listed in here, so I somewhat trust it. There's the VIN number for the vehicle. Okay, here this starts right at the beginning. As you can see, we've got data and some valid data as well, and the VIN number is even up here near the top. Okay, so that's the donor. So it's kind of a question mark, but what I do know is the original one that has no data in the front, I can still access the PCM, read and write it, even if this information is somewhat lost or corrupted or damaged. So I'm gonna still go ahead and try to write it to the replacement PCM and see what we get, because I know I can still come back and recover because I was able to do it on this one. Okay, guys, I went ahead and reversed the process and copied the data onto our donor vehicle, and I went ahead and opened it up in Forescan just to look, and it did transfer over our VIN. So far it looks good. I'm gonna go ahead and connect it up to the car and let's see what happens. Also, guys, big news for the channel. I'm going to be basically a distributor for the CG products. So we will be having this on the website, and also some more interesting products from CG. So stay tuned, guys. We got some big stuff coming on. All right, back at the car, I labeled the original one. Gonna go ahead and connect up the donor now that we cloned, and let's see what happens. All right, we got it on, boys. I forgot to add, one of the symptoms that also caused was a battery drain. So we're gonna go ahead and hook up with the booster. All right, let's see what happens now. turn that key off. On. You see the check engine light came on right away, guys. Crank and start. There it is, boys. Cloning the PCM 2012. This is a 2014 Ford Focus, boys. And that's it. I'm gonna go ahead and connect up. We've got the air cleaner box disconnected, so that's probably what's going on there. And some other things we might have to clean up, but that's it, boys. That was a fix. All right, boys, so to sum it up, customer jumped with the cables backwards, which sent a spike and actually damaged the PCM, which was surprising. By the way, the main fuses are located right here. You need to remove this air cleaner box. That's why I had it out. I pulled it and tested the fuses, and they were all good, which I was surprised. Usually you're gonna have something like that blow, but that's not what happened in this case. In this case, it damaged the PCM, which of course caused a no crank and also erratic behavior of the PCM. The PCM would not communicate at first. It brought down the whole network. Once I disconnected it, you can shortcut disconnect the PCM from right here, guys. This cable right here goes to it's the engine wire harness, so it connects to the TCM and the PCM. So once you pull this, you've disconnected the PCM and the TCM from the network, right? So I did that. The network came back up, plugged it back, and I was able to then communicate with the PCM. The PCM came back to life, but it was acting even strange, very strange. It would not let me read codes. It displayed information sometimes it didn't. And so at that point, I knew it wasn't a communication issue because of what the customer explained to me and the testing I already did. And that's how I came to that conclusion. All right, boys. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button, guys. We got our server up. You guys are going to start seeing new things coming real soon on the channel. A lot of big upgrades. Big shout out to everybody that's donating to the channel. Like I said, you guys are about to see a lot of changes. Check the link in the description. If, like I said, we're going to be the supplier for CG products, so you'll be able to get the FC-200 there as well on our website. Also, if you need services, you need this service done clone, on the description is our email address. Get in touch with us. We can help you out with that as well. Any questions, leave it in the comments, guys, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Remember, if you didn't know this, now you know. And knowing is half the battle, boys.